to Roundtable Podcast. As you can see, both cameras are on. You've got all of our points of view. None of the shenanigans of the last episode. We had that little skit to show the reveal of the cameras. We do apologise for the quality of the cameras, though. We did make the mistake of spending 30 quid each on each camera. We'll upgrade that later down the line. This will do for now. It could be much, much worse. So, the ginger one with the brown hat. The brown hat? The grey hat. What am I on about? The ginger one with the grey hat. That's Legends. To my left and your right, that's Born. And I'm one of the hosts. Apparently the main host somehow. I'm Helix.
We're in the middle.
Yeah, you're in the middle, so got no choice.
For those of you that can't see us, tough. You're going to have to get over it. If you want to see us, you're going to have to come over to YouTube. But there's also nothing wrong with just listening to us because it's sometimes more convenient. Specifically if you're on a long drive or if you're at work.
Crash a car. Crash a car. What?
But yeah,
At the next roundabout, turn left.
I don't know about you guys, but I like listening to podcasts in my spare time.
I do at work.
Yeah, I like to listen to it at work because a lot of my work can also, especially this time of year, involve a lot of pat testing. So sitting in a workshop, testing cables.
It's very tedious.
It's not the most fun job, but tedious. I've got my podcast, so I can get over it.
That's it.
I can't say I listen to my own podcast because I'm not sure I like the sound of my own voice.
To be fair, it makes me very embarrassed, so I just don't bother.
That makes sense.
I'm not embarrassed to be on a podcast.
No, but I hate listening to myself.
Yeah. Especially after I heard my own voice when editing the podcast. I'm like, ooh, I sound like that? I thought my voice was okay, but
I first realised I have a shitty voice when, obviously, we were doing live streams.
Oh, streaming, yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, we also live stream now. Hopefully.
Do we?
As of time of the recording, we're not. But hopefully by the time this episode comes out, Trigger TV will be available on YouTube. But if you want to watch us live stream, head over to Twitch. It is Trigger Helix, Trigger Legends, and Trigger Born. Probably with 7 N's at this point, the amount of times you've forgotten your login details.
No, that's not what happened. The first time, someone was using my, remember that guy on GTA? Where he was using us as like a front shield so he didn't get banned for hacking on GTA.
Yeah.
And he used me and my account got banned. And then the 2 N's came along and it happened again. So I have the 3 N's now.
Yeah, I'm the one who forgot all my logins.
Yeah, it's
no surprise there.
There are 3 accounts that I haven't been logged into for 7 years.
Actually, only 1.
No, it's 3.
And then there's me that's
Trigger
had
Legends,
the same accounts.
Then I'm on Trigger Legends, with just 1 S. I haven't had an extra S yet.
No, but I'm talking about Steam as well.
Oh yeah, Steam I have lost count on.
Oh dear. But then there's me with the same Xbox account as I started with nearly 15 years ago. The same PlayStation account that I started with when I first got a PlayStation.
Yeah,
Some are lucky.
Yeah, some are lucky.
Same Google account, although I kind of regret that. Because it's a shit name.
You can change it, can't you?
No. Can't change the email.
I have a personal and business email.
Yeah, I want to change the Google email, but I also don't want to lose all of my stuff.
Fair.
Yeah.
No, I can't argue with that.
Not the end of the world. To be fair, I think I might be able to back it up onto a different account and then transfer that account. But I'll deal with that when
That's
I
a
need
lot of
a new
faff.
phone.
Honestly, that's a lot of faff.
Not only do we have gaming channels, we also now have a board game series alongside the regular Roundtable podcast. That is Roundtable Gaming. You can find that on this channel. Easy enough to find. You guys realise they can see you.
Yeah.
This is
anyway, so one thing I've realised is the last few episodes, we've not necessarily been scripted, but we've picked a topic that we've had to research or remind ourselves about. So let's be a little bit more relaxed this episode, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll go with something we all know about, something we all have a passion for. Motorbikes. More specifically, like, you're a pedestrian at the moment, but you were riding before both of us.
That is true.
And my first bike was your first bike.
It was a good first bike.
It was. It's still in my garage waiting to be restored. So, but we'll come back to that later. So I'm more thinking we talk about our experiences with motorbikes.
Mm-hmm.
and maybe our future plans for riding motorbikes. Do we plan on keeping them? Do we plan on getting rid of them and getting a car? Or being just a car?
Yeah.
I'm doing both.
I'm going to have both. What about you?
2 cars.
2 cars. No bikes?
No bikes.
No bikes?
I'll have the one I have now, but I'll just repair it more and replace parts on it and things like that. That's it.
Even if it breaks down?
Even if it breaks down.
Like, even if it gets written off?
If it gets written off, there's nothing I can do about it.
But you won't get a replacement?
I would probably just buy the same model.
You wouldn't get a big bike license, no? You wouldn't get a big boy license?
No.
You wouldn't... I'd recommend you get the big boy license so you don't have to keep renewing your CBT.
That's true, but...
Even if you just keep the same bike.
Yeah.
It would save you money in the long run, especially with the fact that CBT prices are going up every year.
And you don't have to wear an L plate.
Yep, no L plates.
I mean, I could
You
just
can go
use a
on
car.
motorways.
I could just use a car.
Yeah. I'd still recommend at least getting like the low level big boy bike, just so you don't have to renew anything.
Yeah, that's true. It is pretty annoying.
Less faff.
Less faff. But
Sometimes you're gonna have to do it every 2 years, and the CBT prices are going up.
they are.
So for those of you that haven't guessed already, all 3 of us are Advent.
Advent. Aggressive.
All 3 of us are frequent motorcycle riders. We have been for many years, and we plan to for many years more. I believe, Legends, you were the first one to start riding a motorcycle.
So how did your motorcycle?
Why did you start riding motorcycles?
It did always interest me. But then I had a certain individual convince me to go get my CBT done. Obviously, we both know who that is.
Is it Sheep?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's Sheep.
Okay.
It's Sheep.
I don't remember.
For those of you that don't know, Sheep is I'm going to add a little bit of backstory, a little bit of lore to the Roundtable podcast group.
But don't go too much into definition, or
So
keep it basic, keep it sweet.
This ties in with the Trigger TV gaming name. We are part of a small group. It's more like a childhood thing for you guys, and I just came along one day.
Technically, Bourne was the first.
Technically, I just made the name up.
Yeah.
And then I just told him to add Trigger to whatever he decided to make as a username.
So, any of you gamers out there, especially from like the early 2000s,
Black Ops 2 days, that's
like
basically
the
where it
Black
came from.
Ops and Black Ops 2 days. You'll remember like clan tags. So Bourne came up with the clan tag Trigger.
Yeah.
And it was shortened to Trig, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you only could have 4 letters.
Call
for
of
some
Duty was
stupid
Trig.
reason.
Yeah.
So Bourne came up with the Trigger. So that's kind of stuck around since then, and we never outgrew it.
Not really.
We kind of just stuck with it, and it's
With the
now
nicknames.
moved over with us to YouTube and all things like that. I'm pretty sure I got a high-vis somewhere with Trigger Clan written on the back of it for when I'm on the bike at night.
You got that white one, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of regret getting a white one now and then put it on the back of my rucksack because it's dirty as fuck, and I can't clean it. I've tried.
That'd be fine, don't
But
worry.
yeah, so Trigger Clan is a thing that Bourne came up with back in the days of Black Ops, and it's stuck around. And Sheep is one of the members of the Trigger Clan. He's not part of the podcast or anything. He's more of a part-time member now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's still a member.
He still uses the
Mostly
name on
busy with
Steam.
life.
Yeah,
That's it.
he's still a member.
Just
It's
busy with life.
Yeah, he does more than we do in our spare time. He does different to what we do in our spare time. He prefers doing more active things. He doesn't game as much as we used to. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds about.
So Sheep convinced you to start riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily convinced you, pushed you over the edge.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
It's just, you know what? That has just reminded me how I started my motorbike. Do you want to hear this? Because I don't think you know this.
Go on.
So what happened is you were really interested in buying a motorbike. You had the money to do the CBT, and you went to go and do it. We had a friend called Trigger Fingers who was supposed to do it
I've
with
heard
you.
about him.
Right? Yeah. We talk about him in passing because I like to meme on him a lot.
He's
And
no longer a member, is he?
No.
No. I don't know where he is and what he's doing. And he promised for Legend's birthday that he would do the CBT with him. Proceeded to ignore him after he asked him to like confirm dates and things like that. Right? You were really upset about it. You was talking to me about it, and I just went, screw it, I'll do it with you. That's how I got my first CBT.
Oh.
Is because Fingers pulled out
Yeah.
and genuinely refused to answer
But I assume you had like an interest in motorcycles beforehand.
I did, but I was adamant about cars.
Yeah, understandably, because I like as much as I prefer motorcycles to cars, I understand the benefit of having a car over a motorcycle, especially in this day and age. Like, if you want a job, a lot of it now requires you to drive elsewhere. There's local jobs don't exist anymore.
Transport, honestly, is ghastly.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, and at the time, I actually had way less interest in motorbikes. I only did it to be a bro for his birthday. That was it.
That was
and now you're into them.
That was a fun CBT though.
You sat behind me like that while I was doing it.
We was doing the figure of 8, and I basically sat
He kept
on his
kissing my
arse.
rear tire, and it was terrifying. My first experience was him chasing me on a figure of 8, the instructor laughing his head off, while I'm panicking trying to speed up doing the figure of 8 while he's kissing my rear tire.
Oh dear. But do you know what I'm going to do?
It was a fun experience.
Do you know what I'm going to do? We're not sponsored by these guys, but I'm going to give a little honorary mention to 2 different companies that, if you're in the south of England, specifically Essex, the 2 places I'd recommend you going to get your CBT or any motorcycle license. Art Rider Training here in my hometown of Basildon.
Exposed.
They don't know where though, they just know Basildon.
Oh,
Basildon's quite a surprisingly big place. And Pass Bike. Southend, Wickford, Rayleigh, I believe. Definitely Southend.
I know which one you're talking about.
I know there used to be Wickford. But those are the 2 that we'd recommend. If you're in Essex specifically, those are the 2 we'd recommend first. Don't get me wrong, there's loads of other great ones. These are just the ones that, from personal experience, I know are fantastic at their jobs. But that's where we went, Art Rider Training.
Wait,
All 3 of us.
so that was the origin of me and Legend getting our CBTs?
Are you on my origin?
Yeah, because I don't remember it.
So for donkey's years, since I was a child, I've always been obsessed with motorbikes over cars.
Really?
I've never been a car guy until probably 10 years ago.
I was a car guy first.
I was a car guy.
I was a
first.
motorcycle guy first. I was a motorcycle kid. I loved them, much to my mother's dismay. But I've always been into motorcycles. So as soon as I was able to, I went for my CBT, because it took a lot of convincing to get my parents to allow me to do it. Because they did not agree with it. They were like, "No, they're dangerous. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea." Except that cars are dangerous too.
Yeah.
Everything's dangerous nowadays.
You don't get much protection with bikes.
No, you don't. I'm here for a long time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I had to really convince them. I think I want to say 21, 22, when I finally got a motorcycle, when I finally got my CBT. No, it was 23.
I think so.
Yeah, because I've been riding just shy of 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 23. And I went for my CBT. And when I was doing it, I was awful at roundabouts. I was way too hesitant with roundabouts. Like, it took way too long. So I was like, have I got enough time? I haven't got enough time. Have I got enough time? I haven't got enough time. I just didn't take any, not risks, but you'll see a gap and you're like, I haven't got time for that. When you most definitely do have time for that gap.
I became a drag racer on the roundabouts. So I saw a gap, gone.
But everywhere else, completely fine. No problems whatsoever, just roundabouts.
I think the only issue I had, because you were there, you could actually quote me on this. I stalled on that hill. That's the most issue I had.
Yeah, but after.
And that was only because the thing you do different with bikes compared to cars is you rev them a lot more. With a car, if you're on a hill, genuinely you don't hear much of the car, and so it's smooth and all of that. That's what I thought you had to do on a bike. It had to be smooth, it had to be slightly quiet. Absolutely not.
No, it needs to be loud and smooth.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
Yes. With a bike, make noise. If you're not making noise, you're not riding.
But I was pretty much good in every other area.
Yeah, for me it was just roundabouts.
You were speeding.
I couldn't help it.
You were speeding.
He said open the throttle. I opened the throttle.
I looked at the sign, it said 50, right? You were doing 30, you were sitting in front of me. And then he said open the throttle, and I'm pretty sure after that point, you were doing 80. You left us for dead.
Honestly, on a 125.
I was pushing.
He was gone.
It was screaming.
We were
at me.
doing 50, right? The instructor had to leave me to catch up with him because he was speeding.
It was out of range of the
I
radio.
didn't get in trouble for it though.
No,
He just had to.
he
keep
thought
up.
it was funny.
He just had to catch up with me.
Oh dear. But yeah, so I actually had to go back the next day and redo the road test
Because you were hesitant.
because I was too hesitant.
You know what's
They were
fair?
like, come back tomorrow, because I had never ridden a motorcycle before that.
No, it's absolutely fair.
Like, I had no experience on motorcycles whatsoever, so I was understandably hesitant and didn't have enough confidence when it came to.
I mean,
stuff
I
like that.
struggle with roundabouts even in a car
Yeah.
now.
And they pulled me to the side after, like, right, we're not failing you, but we want you to come back tomorrow.
Take a breather, yeah.
Yep. And we're going to redo that, not the whole day, just the road bit. So come back for the. We got a CBT on tomorrow. There's a space for you. Come back. So I went back, redid the road, the road section of the CBT. And they're like, right, here's the deal. Stop being a dickhead with roundabouts and just go for it.
Just go for it.
And I was like, alright. And I went for it and I passed, no problem. They're like, why didn't you do that yesterday? I was like, I ain't got a clue. And now I,
mean,
have
it's
no
just-
problems. Now actually I'm a little bit too risky with roundabouts. Not hesitant enough of roundabouts. As much,
I have too many
as much
stories.
as you've seen it.
I have too many stories about you, bro.
So ironically, the three of us have never ever, in all our years of riding motorcycles, been on a motorcycle ride as a trio.
Yeah.
Well, the time I was on the bike, I was trying to convince you guys to get on a bike.
And by the
Yeah.
time we were on bikes,
I had to come off mine.
because you weren't making enough money to maintain it, were you?
No, because the bike broke.
Yeah, and then you weren't making enough
Yeah.
money to get a new one.
Yeah.
In fairness, neither was I, but I was fortunate enough to get your old hand-me-down, your first one.
Yeah.
Oh, the list of bikes I've had.
Yeah. The list of bikes I've fucking had at this point now.
And none of them, bear in mind, none of them made it to the road except the one I have now.
How?
Bro, it's been bad. So, the first one I had was the AJS, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
red thing.
That was a project.
That was a project. I put it together, it almost worked, and then I was forced to get rid of it by my dad. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then we moved it to use yours because you wanted to keep it. And then sheep destroyed it. No,
No.
it was moved to another garage.
It was moved to someone else's garage. Then it was moved to another garage. It was, say, some other mechanic.
Mm.
And then something went wrong with it.
I still have the letter somewhere where I got fined because you didn't pay the tax on it.
Oh, that reminds me, I've got to do road tax on my new one before I take it out tomorrow.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was fine bringing it home from the dealership, but I've got to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I still have that letter where I was fined because you didn't pay the tax on it.
I don't remember that far back.
Yeah, because you didn't receive the paperwork yet because you had signed everything already and it hadn't come to you yet, but you had the bike. But I got fined because he didn't tax it.
Also, to help
Oh,
any
sorry.
of the people that are watching on YouTube, if we mention something that you may not understand, if you're not a motorcycle person, if we mention a bike that you don't know, or anything. To be fair, if I mention any bikes, like three of us mention any bikes, I'll put it on screen for you so you know what it looks
Yeah,
like.
AJS R7.
Yep, I'll put that on site. I'll try and find the correct colour. If I can't, I can't.
I'll still have an R7. I love that bike.
They are
It was
good.
good.
Especially the exhaust.
And then
There's a
I
Mongol.
moved on to get the. Okay, try to remember the order of this. No, so then after that, I got the American flipping small thing. Remember that? The. What was the bike you had? What brand was it?
What one?
The one the insurance company gave you.
Oh, you had
Oh,
the
the
CBR.
the Honda CBR.
I had a CBR that you
had
picked
the,
up.
You had the Repsol.
Yeah, that you guys picked up for me. I called it the
Ah,
American because those are the colours it had.
So the Repsol CBR is like the most common 125 you
Yeah.
will ever
Yeah, he
get
got
in
one
the
with an
UK.
extremely loud exhaust.
I got one with an extremely loud exhaust.
They definitely heard that. I
Had to
can't
sell
own
it.
Oh.
I had to sell it to a friend because not only was it too small, it was kind of loud, and I didn't want that.
Yeah. How
and
times
then,
have changed.
Loud and proud now.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't care anymore.
You got a snub nose.
No, because it changed from me. Yeah, because it changed from my dad being in charge of the house to me being it, so it doesn't. And then after that, remember, I got the Venom. I paid for the Venom. That whole thing was
The Lex Motor
mess.
Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
'Cause
what happened?
I wanted one of those as my next bike, but I couldn't find any that were close enough to get.
What a nightmare that thing was. So, friend agreed to give it to me, right? He had it last month of MOT, but keep that in mind,
Yep.
right? He was telling me, yeah, it's perfectly fine. I paid him for it. We took it to the MOT station the next day, failed on brakes, failed on
rear
dash,
brake.
failed on lights, failed on... oh my goodness, it failed on so much
Yeah, the
stuff.
back tire didn't have enough pressure. The back rear brakes weren't working 100%, so they needed new
It needed
pads.
a whole new brake, it needed whole new pads.
Dashboard was flashing, like...
No, it was
going
broken.
Was it broken? I thought it was just on
We
and off.
remember the reason why we needed to get a new dash, right, is because they wired it incorrectly and then it blew up.
Yeah, alright.
So I needed an entire new dash for it, and then we just left it at his garage for a while until I agreed to sell it to a friend who didn't pay me for it, but he got it fixed after paying 900 quid for it. We excluded him from our friend group, by the way. because
Understandably.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was
And
a
then
fucker.
after that same friend, I was like, I'm gonna give him one more chance. He agreed to sell me his YZF.
Ah.
Right? He agreed to sell me his YZF. I paid him £600 for it. He moved from where he used to be to Southend. Never heard from him again. I paid him £600, and rumour has it that he just sold it to somebody else while taking my money. And then just didn't have the guts to admit it.
The amount of times that I've bumped into him in the street and wanted to ask him about it.
The thing is
And the amount of times
everyone...
I've gone, no.
The
I
thing
was
is
asked
that
not to.
everyone in the friend group did ask him about it, and
Yeah.
he gave everyone a different story. From it being in Scotland, from it being up the country, from it being repaired, from it getting MOT, to the point where he gave up giving answers and just stopped talking to all
Yeah.
of us. I already after
Was
I
he a
get the
trigger
bike-
as well?
No,
Yeah, he was.
he wasn't.
He was.
He was though,
He was.
but yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Whatever, bro.
Yeah. Is that all of the bikes you've had that you've not had?
Yeah, no, that's all of them. That's about 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, not to mention. Yeah, that was it. It. And it took so long. I had to do my CBT a second time. That's how long it took for that. I went for all of those bikes in those 2 years, and none of them touched the pavement.
Because you had to redo your CBT last year, because I had to do mine last year as well, didn't I?
No, I didn't do mine last year. I did it the year before.
Was it the year before? Oh, it was late the year before.
It was
wasn't
late
it?
the year
Yeah.
before. Yeah. But
Because
then
I had to
ended up-
redo mine last summer.
And then I got fed up. So within that time, I got fed up with bikes, moved back to cars, did my driving test, and I said, if I fail this, I'm going to have to get a bike. Because my walk to work was ridiculous. It took from 2 to 3 hours.
You
to
walked to work. I thought you
I
got a
had to-
train.
No, so I would get the train, and then from the train, it would take me roughly 2 to 3 hours to walk to work.
Madness.
It was crazy to do that and then work 12 hours and then do the 2-hour walk back.
You got like
It was-
3 hours at home.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I had to have a vehicle of some kind.
Yeah.
Got fed up. I remember I messaged you saying that I was going to go to a motorbike shop because I was fed up. And then he invited you,
Yeah.
and then all 3 of us went out to look at motorbikes. And then on the day, I just agreed to buy the
Because I
Helix.
fell in love with a Keyway Superlight.
Was it then? You fell in
Yeah.
love with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I never got that one. But I fell in love with a Keyway Superlight in Burgundy.
Was that the big thing?
The matte,
Yeah.
biggish, matte Burgundy.
The thing that was like on the left side of the wall, the massive...
No, that.
No. I fell in love with that as well, but this was a 125 that I fell in love with.
Oh, gotcha. I was very
Because it was
confused
right
there.
around that time that I was thinking of getting a new bike, because unfortunately my first bike was just so old that it was hard to maintain.
It was
and
garbage. It was just
it needed
straight garbage.
it still does.
It's
but
garbage.
Don't insult Belle.
Bro,
like
come on. You can at least admit it was garbage.
It
that. She done me well.
It wasn't
She
garbage.
done really well for garbage.
By the time I got it, it was garbage.
Wow.
I can agree to that, right?
But it needed TLC, and
That's putting it lightly.
I didn't have the time to fix her and use her as a daily rider.
Yep. Do you remember when the bolt fell out of her? Do you remember when
No, it
someone
wasn't
took
a
her
bolt.
apart?
It was the whole fucking panel. So So we frequent our local town centre quite well. We used to quite often because we used to go to this same cafe every Friday. We haven't done it in a while because we all now have full-time jobs during the week.
Busy.
Which is sad because I like that little routine, but we now actually have money, so we can't complain too much. And we used to park in the same spot in the same car park every time because it was a designated motorcycle parking space with loads of cameras around. So we park, we go off, have our breakfast, probably buy Pokemon cards, let's be honest.
Yeah, what's that?
Came back, I get on my bike after getting all my gear on, and as I stand the bike upright off the side stand, all I hear is just metal clanging at my feet. And I'm like, and we all just looked at each other like, what the fuck was that?
Yep.
So I looked down, and my chain guard had fallen off. No bolts to be seen, just fallen off. So I'm looking on the floor, and I just look up at Legends and Born. I'm like, the fuck just happened? They're like, what's happened? What's happened?
Yeah, then I moved my bike out of the way, I remember this, and you see that, your entire setup.
The entire chain guard had just fallen off.
It was bad.
Luckily, mechanically, it's not a problem, but at a safety standpoint, it's a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
Didn't we ride straight to...
We went straight to Halfords.
And got you them bolts.
And got new bolts. But we couldn't figure out for love them because there were no bolts lying on the ground anywhere. Someone had taken these bolts out.
You didn't go straight to Halfords for that. We went to the police station first.
Yeah, but we went and
far,
filed a
let's be
police
honest.
report,
No,
which
it's
was
not,
like
it's
a
around the corner.
minute round the corner, and then went straight to Halfords to get replacement bolts.
And that was it.
Still no idea. Never heard back from the police about it. They probably didn't give a fuck.
Probably not.
Yeah.
That is tampering with a vehicle, so
yeah.
you think that they'll take some acknowledgement.
Some measures,
Yeah.
but...
But it also wasn't really worth filing an insurance claim for.
No.
Like,
Just the bolt.
it cost me £3 to replace the bolts. But still, what the fuck? Why are people taking bolts out of a motorcycle?
I have no idea.
Why are people taking the bolts out of
Although-
anything that isn't theirs?
Although, do you remember when I taught you down that dark road
Oh god,
on
here
the
we
way
go.
back?
Let's get it on.
So, allow me to
Remind
refresh
me.
your memory. We'd just taken a long ride through Southend, right? And remember, we heard
Oh,
the
the
sound of the bolt,
detour!
right? And I was
Yeah.
like, let's take a detour. And you were like, yeah, sure, whatever. We've gone up, we've gone down the A road, right? And I'm just like, let's take a left here. You went, wait, what? We took a left, and bear in mind, your light
So
is atrocious.
So the lights on my first bike, it was a Hartford Legion 125, and it's from 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now 21 years old. It's now legal to drink in the US. However, back then, LED headlights weren't very popular, so I had a halogen bulb that, let's be honest, could have done with being changed.
It couldn't light up your bedroom. That's
No.
how dim it was.
So he takes me down a country road
Pitch black.
with no lights whatsoever.
Because I remember you panicked because I don't know what's up with this, and this is still there to this day. There is a curb that's not attached to anything.
Don't mind me, I'm just going to plug the laptop in so
Right.
we don't lose the recording.
Yeah, we don't lose the recording. But there is you know how you got the curb and then you've got like the normal pavement that you walk on?
Yeah.
There was nothing there, so
No.
it was hard to see the curb.
Yep.
And you nearly hit it. You told me your foot touched it as you flew past. And I know what you was talking about because I had my high beams on. But you couldn't see it.
No.
You were following this little red light.
That's all
that
I
was
could see.
in front of you, while I'm laughing
And
and,
the occasional
speeding
glint
down
of
the
your
corner.
To be fair, there's a lot of stories that result in me screaming and you laughing.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I first got the Keyway K-Light?
And we went up the
We went up to
Landon Hills.
Landon Hills, Stamford La Hope.
Yep. I'll let you explain this because to me it's still funny how
So
this
bear in
happened.
mind, this is the first time I've ridden this bike. Like, first time when I first got it, the first ride I did other than like a test ride when we went to go view it.
Yeah.
And it was a great bike. For the price.
Yeah, it was a good
And for
bike.
the condition, it was great.
was a good
Fantastic deal. And I didn't really have any issues with it other than February last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a second. So the first ride I take it out on, we were like, oh, let's go up the nice countryside area.
Mhm.
And it was a nice ride.
It was a good ride.
I didn't anticipate the corner at the top of the hill, though.
I did because I read the sign.
Yeah. I thought nothing of
Always
it.
read signs, folks.
So, in fact, what I'm going to do is, because we have decided that what we're going to do with this episode is we're going to record some of our motorcycle rides between recording and the episode being aired. So I'm actually going to go up there with my GoPro. And what the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Oh well. And I'm going to go. The set's falling apart. I'm going to go up that hill and I'm going to
There's a
record this corner for you.
I'm probably
So
going to
you
go with
can
you.
understand. And there's a sign that obviously tells you slow down. It's a tight corner. I didn't read this
Not
sign.
only that, but the road,
The road narrowed.
yeah, the road narrowed and the markings changed to
Yeah.
no overtaking.
Yeah.
All the indications
Yep.
were there.
So it's up and then down in a split second, and then it's a
It's a
tight
sharp
bend.
It's a sharp right.
Yeah. So I go up, and I'm like,
trying
oh,
to
that's a
think of where it
sharp
is
one.
now.
Oh, I can't slow down. Oh, I can slow down,
You
but
did a
not quick
drift,
enough.
by the way.
I basically drifted, yeah.
You did a drift, and then I sped past you at 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, so I'm slowing down, trying to take this corner, and I'm just edging
It was the
closer and
panic.
closer to this curve, and I'm like,
I'm
this is
gonna
my
burn.
first ride, I'm gonna fucking crash.
I couldn't stop laughing, by the way. The panic on your face made it worth it. And I was like, I can't be
The
bothered to
panic
slow
in my
down.
voice as well, because we've got Bluetooth comms, which you need to get, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll send you
true.
the link for them at some point. I think they're like 60 quid.
Are you changing up or keeping?
No, these are the new ones. So
They're-
we've already
These
got
are
the
new
new
ones
ones.
we already changed.
Because your thing broke.
So it kind of just drilled itself a new hole, and now it won't connect.
Huh.
So the actual thing itself worked, but the
The Orcs. Yeah.
drilled itself a new hole somehow. So
But we can't. The problem is we can't afford the big brands that can connect with basically anything.
So if anyone wants
So
to
we-
sponsor us with some new headsets, go
Uh,
ahead.
Who's the biggest Bluetooth headset brand for motorcycles? Cardo.
Cardo
Yeah.
packs. Yeah.
So
Cardo
Cardo,
packs.
if you want to sponsor us and hook us up, you know where to find us.
So funny. But yeah, I sped because I remember this specifically because I sped past you, and whenever you panic, you just go dead silent, no matter what it is I say.
Yeah.
I went Helix. Silence.
Yeah, trying to
Helix, you
fucking
good?
figure out what I did.
All I hear is the sound of like your engine
Yeah.
and you changing gear, trying to like sort yourself out. So then at this point, I burst into laughter, carry on speeding. I was speeding, let's be honest. Slowed down, ran the next corner, and then see an we saw a crash immediately after that. And I was like, that could have been you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was 2 cars and an ambulance.
Yeah.
I remember that on the,
Well, at least the
on the
ambulance was
right-hand
on
side of
scene
the
for
road.
him.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
in case.
it had happened ages ago.
I'd have been so pissed off if I crashed my bike.
on the first time, but you nearly did.
Yeah.
And then we make it to Stanford Lee Hope,
Yep.
right? All happy, and then we end up in an illegal road.
Ah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't an illegal road. It was a private
We were
road.
warned. Were
we?
the massive sign that made us think we're going to be fined up to $3,000.
Yeah, but there was nothing we
definitely
could do. We couldn't turn
We
around.
couldn't. There was nowhere to turn around.
There needs to be a sign before that turning, ideally.
I think that's definitely a hint of not to go in.
No,
there.
Yeah, but there were no signs before that.
the sign, right? So you make the turn, right? You going down this lovely hill at like I think it was 30 or 40, right? And then halfway up, bear in mind this is like a motorway-sized road,
Yeah.
right? 3 lanes, and it goes all the way down. About 10 minutes as you're going down halfway, then you see the sign.
Oh.
It's not,
And there's nowhere
Yeah.
to turn around because it's like a motorway. It's got like the railing in the middle. There's no left turns. It's just a straight. You get this massive sign warning you that if you're there without permission, you're going to
Yeah.
be fined $3,000.
Oh, now you
And
know.
there were trucks
but there was
going in
nothing
and
we
out.
could do because there was no
nothing.
signs before that.
But the road after that was lovely.
Oh yeah.
Instead of turning around at the roundabout, we followed through, and then we ended up going down this really lovely
Yeah.
road. It was so
Probably shouldn't have
nice.
been there either.
We shouldn't have been there, but you know, it is what it is. It was like $3,000. We might as well have some fun.
It's just the fact that we both turned and I was like, let's go a different route. 10 minutes later.
10 minutes later, yeah.
Born!
Yeah, I see it. I see
It
it.
was your idea.
Yeah,
It's always my idea.
it was his idea.
Whenever something bad happens, it's always my idea.
Alright, so note
Look
to
at that!
self, don't
Look
follow
at that!
Helix.
Bloody
Yeah.
look at the lights straight after that. Do you remember that? Because we argued about it until the comms disconnected. You went on a red. It
I
was
was
green
already
as we were
moving.
the one thing I've been taught every time, right? Every time is if it's green as you're approaching, slow down. You did
So you
not
can-
do such thing.
Because it can change instant.
But it did change instantly when I was at the line and I was like, well, I'm already
You
moving.
went for it. But the problem with that is that you were turning left onto a motorway of like 3-lane cars that was packed, and they were all coming. Meaning you could have been a lovely mess on.
But I wasn't,
Nope.
and didn't get a ticket. So it's fine. It all worked out in the end.
You just weren't spotted. That's all that really was.
No
Yeah.
cameras.
And then we ended up going separate ways that day. I remember you went home and then I went home after that.
Yeah, because I think we worked out that it was easier to just split off
Just
there.
go home. Yeah.
Because normally we go to one or the others, but in that scenario, our routes home like
It was
connected
completely
perfectly.
different. Oh, and my phone was dead.
Your
Which
phone
meant-
was dying. Yeah.
No, it was dead.
Oh, was it dead?
It was dead. I had to follow signs to get home.
Ah. Whereas I know my route home from pretty
Yeah,
much
you
anywhere.
had the map. That's what annoyed me
Well,
the
no,
most.
even without a map, I know where I'm going.
I did.
But wasn't my map for your house anyway?
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
I remember one of you telling me it was.
And then you ended up. Ah, that was funny. That was a funny day. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, I think yours was muscle memory. You instinctively went your route home
Yeah.
from work. Or something like that.
Yeah. I recognised the. Cause
Yeah.
it's Stanford. Yeah. I
Rather than
recognised
following me, he goes, I know my way.
it. And then I went a different route.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, comms were disconnected at this point.
Yeah,
so I
they
had
were about
no
to
idea.
be.
Well, the whole time I was riding, I never had comms. So I was literally following the tail.
friends.
You had no friends, bro.
Bro, I was in a group of 7.
Yeah,
But
but
were any of them your
you
friends?
might as well have been
At the
a
time.
stranger.
I hope to think that most of them are still my friends.
Will.
Damn.
Will.
So why don't you tell us about that time
Which
that
time?
you fucked up your bike?
Wow. That was the most plain investigation way I've heard.
What,
that,
you
bro.
mean where the speedo went?
Yeah.
No, your speedo fell out of your bike.
Yeah, the speedo
Yeah,
fell out. Mine just stopped working altogether. And that was a fun time. So we just went to our friend's garage to all meet up. There was 5 of us there.
Sheep's garage.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
It was
yeah,
before
another
Sheep had a
friend.
garage.
Have you been to Sheep's garage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all
Yeah, we
three of
t-
us have.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we took the
where
Grom
I got
up
my
there.
exhaust
I know
from.
we've been.
Yeah, because it's where
Yeah.
I got my exhaust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped Shane with the Grom and his Wise Death's Triple Tree. Yeah, so it was 5 of us was going down. As you go through town, the massive roundabout there.
Yeah.
Basically next to where your bike got stolen.
That's
And you-
a story for in a minute.
Yep,
Yeah.
and you go up, and you can either go left into Langdon, right
Are
onto.
you doxing him?
No,
You're 100% explaining where it is.
Yeah.
no. I'm just saying the route I took before my bike went. Yeah, so I was going up,
Yep.
right, left into Langdon,
Yep.
right onto Crane's farm.
Yep.
Noticed that everyone else was behind me because I had sped off. I did
Yeah.
a bit of speeding.
Of
Weren't
course.
ping attention.
You can
It's
speed
fair.
on the thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To be fair, that was a fast bike.
It took off like a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
So when I
It
was
will again one day.
oh yeah,
It probably still could. It still runs,
yeah, I could probably still
but
push
it
it.
will not pass an MOT.
No.
Yeah, so noticed that no one was behind me, so
Yep.
just left everyone. So went round the roundabout, came all the way back, and then on the opposite side of the road, I see everyone going whee. So I had to play catch up. So I was all the way back down, back round to the bottom roundabout, come back up, and I looked down and I had no speedo.
Ah,
I was like, "Whoa, shit!" So
And that
obviously,
didn't get fixed until you got it.
yeah.
no.
So I was trying to do without a speedo for a while.
I had to use an app on my phone for a speedo.
I remember, and you suggested I do the same. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I managed to catch up with everyone who was stuck in traffic. Went up to, I think it was Sheep at the back of the pack. And I was like, hit my dashboard and went, fucked. He looked down and was like, shit. Then we just carried on with the ride. But I had to stay behind someone so I could actually match their speed the whole time. And I think we went up to like Rochford or Rayleigh at that point.
What about us delivering? There's so many stories.
Oh, the tyres.
The tire.
Oh, God, that was awful. So,
Specifically for you.
yeah, so basically, my first bike was Legend's first bike. I bought it off him. And I added...
Did you?
For this, yes, I did. By the time this comes out, I would have paid you for it.
You just remembered you had to pay him for it.
Yeah, but I know exactly how much it was, and I couldn't afford it at the time. That's why you so graciously gave it to me on a.
How much did we agree with?
400. I remember.
Was it
Was
400?
it
It was
400?
400. It was 400. I remember
No,
specifically.
it was 3, and then you told us that the price was wrong.
Did I?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds like something I would tell.
Because it was in the old club that we discussed this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ye
So
old
I owe
club.
you 400 quid, which is fine. I can sort that in the coming months.
So you're fine.
Yeah. No, I have a full-time job that I can actually afford it. So yeah, my first bike was his first bike that I got off of him. And wait, what was the story I was telling?
I gotta be honest.
Yeah,
I have no
you
idea.
just cut in and
You cut in and started telling a story, and
No, because you led me onto that story.
about the broken speedo, and then
broken
you used,
speedo. Then I talked about the wheel.
Oh yeah, it was the wheel.
Yes, that's it. So
The wheel for Genie.
obviously, and then I discovered that he had a little back box mount for it, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I want that, so I could put a back box on it. Never put a back box on it in the end. I will eventually, once I've done it
Has
up.
Jeannie got a back box?
No, Genie doesn't.
She can though.
She can, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mounted that, and then less than 2 weeks later,
Yeah,
you buy a new bike.
yeah. That's when I bought Genie.
What was it, a Janetta?
Jeanette XRN, which
that's
has
it.
actually been discontinued since 2016. So I've got the last remaining model.
I'm still calling you a dickhead for that because we can't get parts for it easily, if at all.
There is certain parts I can go to, like the AJS TN,
Yeah.
but even then they're quite rare to come across.
Um,
So I have to do what I've done with Bell,
Mm.
which is the Hartford, and part out different bikes.
I'll give you the money for that filter, by the way.
eventually.
Yeah,
Same
eventually.
as me.
You do a Helix a couple of years
Do a
later.
Helix. Yeah, I'll wait a couple of years.
Some bike on.
But yeah, so I less than 2 weeks later, maybe a month, Legends gets a new bike, and it needs a new front rim because it was mullered.
Well, the whole story with that is the bike was fully
Yes,
running.
the
when
bike
he
was
bought
fully
it.
running and in good condition. He saw it running. Didn't you test ride it?
No, I didn't test ride it.
You just saw it running.
You just-
It was brand new to him at the time.
Yeah. And you purchased it off of him, and he fucks off on holiday for what?
No,
2
I
weeks?
No,
I fuck off.
you
Oh,
were-
you go on holiday.
I go on holiday and pay him the rest, and then as it's delivered, it was a bit battered and bruised.
So my best guess is he ragged it around.
He ragged it around,
crashed
got
it.
into a crash, and then just like sheepishly wheeled it to near your house and
Yeah.
then dipped.
Basically,
That's basically
but
what happened.
it's past. I don't really care.
So
at the moment.
the-
I've repaired everything that
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
damaged.
yeah.
So
Well,
the
it just
front-
needs a new carb.
Everything.
Yeah, new carb. Which
We've
I've
done a good job with it so far.
Yeah.
No, we fixed pretty much most of it.
got the new carb. I've got the new carb, but it ain't on yet. And
You didn't want to put the new carb on in case it flooded while you were waiting to pay for an
Exact-
MOT and that.
Exactly, but now that I've got a full-time job, I can put that on. Well, actually, I'll just take it over to Marshall's and have them put it on.
How?
Man with a van.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We know plenty of men with vans.
Yeah, exactly.
I work in an industry that's mostly vans. But yeah, so we go over there and we're like, fuck, this thing's mullered. It's seen better days. So we're like, right, first things first, we've got a tyre that will fit this wheel.
From another LXR.
Was it a tyre or a rim?
It was a tire. wasn't it?
Regardless, we had the stuff to replace the front wheel and fix the front wheel.
The tyre had a chunk taken out of it, and the rim was no.
No, the rim was fine.
The rim was good. The tyre was bad.
And then we had another wheel
Which
where the
the-
rim was fucked, but the
tyre
tyre
was
was good.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
had them
That was
switched
on the
over.
LXR. So then we.
Yeah.
And they were similar size. They were same size. So
Yeah,
it
so
worked out.
so we had to get that. And bear in mind, none of us had cars at this point. None of us do still. Don't know about Sheep. He might have a car now.
He has a car,
He has
but
a
he's
car, but he can't drive
he's
it.
waiting
Has he
for
not
his
got a
test.
license yet? No. Okay.
Tests are booked up and past August.
Yeah. So at this point, we didn't have a car to transport it. So I was like, right, it's fine. I've got this back box mount. Let's just strap it to this. Biggest mistake of my life because none of us had a ratchet strap. We only had a fucking rope, and none of us could tie a knot to save our lives.
So we just ended up tying it to your back.
No, we tied it to it. We tied it to the back thing. It was on the way
Wasn't it
back.
balancing on your back?
It was on the way back that we swapped it.
So
So we tie it on, but as we're going, I noticed I could feel it moving. I could feel it moving on its own, and I was like, "This is not going to end well." I was like, "Guys, someone get behind me and keep an eye on this thing." And everyone's like, "No, because if we get behind you and it falls off, it's going to fucking kill us."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, you're right, but if it falls off and kills someone else, we're fucked."
Yeah.
So we fortunately we made it to the garage, and we got the tyres swapped. And I'm like, right, let's go back to mine and see if I can get a ratchet strap first. before carrying on with the ropes, because it's a bad idea.
Yep.
So we get back to mine, because I'm only 5 minutes from like the local garage that's like one of our regular garages that we go to.
Yeah.
So we get back to mine, and I find a ratchet strap. I'm like, sweet. And then we're like, do we really want to chance it with a ratchet strap again, though? So we ratchet strap one to the back of mine, and the other one, we like bow and arrow, like seatbelt strapped it to Sheep's back.
Oh,
Oh wait, it was Sheep that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
yeah, because I was at work at
And
the
then
time.
I had someone's bag. I remember that's what I had.
You had Sheep's
Yeah,
bag.
you had Sheep's bag.
Yeah, because I remember getting a picture of my bike being on a box with no front wheel.
Yeah, because you weren't home.
Yeah, I was at work.
Yeah. We just showed up and took your front wheel. and
Yeah, we
replaced
showed
it.
up,
Fucking
moved your bike out.
Essex style, had steel tyre.
Yep.
Or
We robbed you up in the middle of the day.
Yep. But we returned it and replaced it.
That's true, yeah.
We didn't leave it off. We put
I
it back on.
convinced you that your hat flew off, your precious hat. I convinced you it
Yep.
flew off mid. I wanted him to focus on something else other than the tire, so I convinced him that his precious hat flew off, and then you ended up just angry the whole way.
So to add some context, I'm a hat guy. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm a hat guy. Legends wears the exact same. I don't think I've ever seen you with a different hat.
No.
I used to have a purple one.
I've never
was
seen
ages
you with the
ago.
purple
Yeah.
one. I've only ever seen you with that same grey hat.
Yeah, that was ages
I
ago.
think that's your second one, though, isn't it?
Third.
That I've seen you with, babe.
There's my third one.
Yeah.
I do need to buy a new one.
I have a burgundy
There's
one.
nothing wrong with that one.
It's old. It's stretched out.
I do want a cap though, but I can never
Yeah.
find one in my head's big.
But I've always had this. I wear different hats every time you see me. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'll probably have a different hat next episode. The only reason I haven't got a different one to episode 5 is because we're recording the same day. As you may notice, we're all in the exact same clothes we were last week.
You're
I promise we do wash. Oh, I don't know about
sometimes.
legends.
No, I have to wash, otherwise I'm dirty as fuck at my job.
Fair. But yeah, so. Oh, he found the exact same one on Amazon.
That's probably where you got it from.
Yeah, probably.
No, I think this one's from eBay.
eBay.
Get
But yeah,
different
moral of the
colours.
story, if you're going to transport stuff, buy a fucking car. I beg. Don't take shit on the back of your bike. It's a bad idea. Though I have seen worse.
I fancy a burger though.
You fancy a burger?
From that burger van.
Ah.
I've been thinking about it all week.
Oh, we can't. The problem is,
I'm
I think it's moved now. Because I went past there the other day and I didn't see it.
Is it? What time though?
It was during the day. Maybe they just put it in storage for the winter. We're going to have to try that in the warmer weather.
Yeah.
Go there during the day of a weekend.
Brother, it was so good.
Basically, one of our favourite things to do on bike rides is go to different burger places. Just different food
eat.
places,
Just
yeah.
eat. Buy Pokemon
We need
cards.
to go back to Poppy's Cafe as well.
Ooh.
But yeah, that's one of our big things is food, Pokemon cards, home.
Yep.
Or Pokemon cards, food, home.
Or a nice sunset, then home.
Yeah. Or
That really should
South
be.
End and home.
I'm gonna buy one in each colour.
Though, if we ever do ride to South End again, can we avoid the A127? I'm fucking sick of it now.
No. Because
Okay.
it's the quickest way down there.
It is, but I take the A127 every day.
Yeah, but it's the quickest way down there.
But we don't necessarily need quick.
Once I'm
And
back,
it's only the quickest way down there if you do the speed limit.
once I'm back on the road, you guys are going Dick
Okay.
Turpin.
Huh?
Yeah, but we've done that before.
Not with me.
We can't go Dick Turpin's.
Why is it closed? Oh, it's closed now. Isn't
It's fucked. It's closed.
it? We'll find somewhere else. We're not going Ace Cafe. I know that one.
Ace Cafe.
Yeah.
We'll do
Why?
Poppy's Caf.
Bike theft central.
No, we'll do Poppy's Caf.
Oh, we'll do Poppy's Cafe.
Because
Um,
you, me, and Sheep have been there, but you've not been there before.
We can go into London now as well because he's going to have his bike.
Yeah? Oh, and we're all over 2017.
No, I'm 2016.
No, he's 2016. he has to pay.
You're going to have to pay. Loser.
No, all based on emissions. My emissions might be good.
No,
Have you
anything
checked?
pre-2017
Is it
motorcycles.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, with cars it's different.
Because we found that out the hard way on the... Was it
Well,
the
you
Hartford?
did.
yeah, it was the Hartford.
Well,
you
The
did.
Hartford's the only one that's
I'm
been
like, fuck, what's that? I never knew about ULEZ until that day, and then I look up and see a sign that says ULEZ charges. I'm like, bored, what's a ULEZ charge?
I fully explained to you that, yeah, it's about emissions and
Yeah.
paying if your vehicle doesn't meet
To add
standards.
some context, this bike does not pass any emissions test
It doesn't pass
whatsoever.
any test. It's
No.
Frankenstein's monster.
It's not my fault. You're talking to me as if I did this.
You own it. It's your fault.
But he did this.
And it worked very well.
Oh,
No, it didn't. Do you not remember that time that sheep nearly caught fire riding it?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
In fairness, that was my fault. Because you don't remember when the carb went. Not the carb.
Yeah, so that weren't my
Didn't the
fault.
throttle? No,
No, it was
So,
the
no,
oil.
the clutch or something went.
Yes, but so the throttle cable. No, it was the clutch cable went.
Yeah.
But that's not what nearly caused it to catch fire. What nearly caused it to catch fire was us fixing the airbox a week prior because we took the airbox off and just attached the air filter separately, and then we found this pipe and we were like, oh, there's nothing coming out of it,
It was the overflow.
and there's nothing going into it. It wasn't an overflow.
Wasn't it?
No, it was an air pressure.
Oh.
So it lets air out to relieve air pressure.
And you blocked it up.
We blocked it up with a fucking glue stick.
Yeah, I remember that.
That
I was
worked,
there.
So
That worked,
as
thank you.
we're going down the A127 to head to Sheep's garage to fix my clutch cable, because we're pretty sure there was a spare one there, which there was fortunately. As we're going there, the pressure is building up in this engine, and where the seals are so old, it started pissing out oil. But none of us realised. I questioned it a few days before because I was like, "Oh, it's a bit greasy. My engine's a bit greasy. Wonder why that is."
I was there for that. I
It's just
remember
where
that.
it's old, probably. But none of us thought to think, "Oh, it must be that pipe we bunged up."
Nope.
And so the clutch went while we were on our way there, and there was nothing I could do because I wasn't experienced enough to be able to do quick shifts or anything.
Sheep did it. For
So
me.
Sheep's like, "Right, let's swap," and he's got a fucking nippy sports bike.
Yeah.
This thing's scary.
2021 was the.
Yep, I've never been on anything like it before. I've never been on a sports bike before at this point, and I'm like,
Yeah, but the thing is, his
How
back.
hard to put this in? The ULEZ expansion charges primarily affect cars and larger vehicles, but motorcycles, including 125s, beats the ULEZ.
"Eh?"
But he had to pay. He paid.
That's
Yeah.
what it says on here. ULEZ compliance.
Well, the Hartford was definitely not.
Making it, yeah, well, that's 20, that's like an 04. Mine's, at least mine's a 16.
You might get away with it.
Yeah, I might get away with it.
But yeah, Sheep's YZF was not a good
No.
sports bike to start off with. It breaks your back.
Yep.
It's
Don't get me-
actually a
don't get
track
me wrong.
bike, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a
It's a
track
track
edition.
bike. So you're forced into position. It's uncomfortable, but the only good thing about it is that it's quick.
Yeah.
To his admission too,
It's fun, to be fair.
it is fun. It's why do you think
but
I like my
But
bike?
it's not fun when you've never ridden a sports bike before, and your first experience is on the middle of a main road with cars passing by you,
Yeah.
and you're just like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking die," and if I survive when I crash it, Sheep's gonna fucking kill me for crashing it. So either way, I'm dead.
He crashed it enough himself. He wouldn't get mad at you for that.
I don't know. I feel like he would for me crashing it when it's not his. So we get there, we make it, but on our way there, he's on it. He's on my bike, and he's quick shifting whatever. It's not really a bike you're meant to quick shift, but
No.
it was his first bike as well, so
He knows it.
and he'd ridden it long enough that he knows that bike quite well.
In and out, yeah.
So we're carrying on down the A127, and all of a sudden I see smoke coming off my bike, and I'm like, probably just the exhaust. Then it got thicker. Then it got thicker. And it got even thicker to the point where I was like, he might be on fire. Bear in mind, we didn't have comms.
Not with him, no.
No, I didn't have comms with him. And I had his phone and he had my phone. Because they were both on mounts. So I couldn't phone him, he couldn't phone me. And I'm just like, oh fuck, had I... Sheep! You're on fire! And luckily he kind of slowed down enough for me to catch up with him. I'm like, fucking stop, man, you're on fire! So what you... Oh fuck, I'm on fire!
The fact that he didn't notice is quite worrying.
Well,
Yeah.
the smoke was going behind him.
Yeah, but you still seeing you like mirrors and shit.
Oh,
like
the
that.
mirrors are fucked.
Again,
Oh,
everything about the Hartford was not good.
No.
Mate, I made it wrong.
It ran. Like, that's the
It
basic
didn't
standards.
idle when you rode it.
Mm.
No, it didn't.
You had to fix it.
Before it didn't.
You had to throttle
Yeah, before.
when you first got
To be
it.
fair, sitting at the traffic lights, having to full throttle.
No,
to-
not full throttle, just blips.
No, but it was loud enough that it was in. That I wish I was there.
Right,
It must have been so funny to
Name
look
one
at.
person that owned that bike that didn't have to repair something on it when they first got it.
Oh, I can't.
Exactly. When I first got it, we were getting it ready for an MOT, And the day of the MOT, I remember this because I was.
It wouldn't start.
That was when I was. Yeah, I walked over to your house from the other side of Pitsea, and you're like, right, it's all ready to go. You can ride it there.
Actually, no, I didn't. For weeks leading up to that, actually months, and you can verify this. I was telling you to come over and sort the bike out, get it ready.
And you said it was ready.
Every month, or every time I asked you to come round,
You didn't show up.
you turn around and come up with an excuse not to come
didn't show
round.
up.
Oh, yeah, because I really
It'd
couldn't
be
bother.
too far, you can't be bothered, you've got something planned, you're doing something else.
To be fair, that
if
was
I
pretty
actually
bad.
was doing something else, I was doing something else. But most of the time, I just couldn't.
Most
Yeah,
of the
it's
time,
excuses.
couldn't
So you
bother.
had
and
all
we
that
knew
time-
it and got mad
yeah.
at you for it.
You could have come round all that time and gone over it yourself, verified yourself that it was ready, running,
I didn't know shit about bikes.
but you still could have come round and made sure.
I could have, but I wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah.
Regardless.
And it was running the day before.
It was.
That's worse. Regardless, I show up, go to start, and it's just. And I'm like, why is it not starting?
I remember I was at work and saw the panic. In
And
the
we're
chat.
all sat there, running across this car park to try and kickstart it,
Pump start, yeah.
bump start it, and it's just not happening. And in the end, I had to phone up the MOT centre and be like, "Look,
It's
I'm
no-
really sorry. Can I reschedule because it's not starting?
Yeah.
It's having stage fright. I'm terribly sorry." And what was it like? A week later, it just starts.
Yeah.
And then we found
No,
out it's just the carb had flooded
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. We had to do it.
Yep.
Go through it all.
And then Sheep fucked up your carb when he put the float upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
High revs. Very high revs.
No, because he put it in. He insisted he was doing it correctly. He put it in, took it for a ride up the car park, came back, and it was just pouring out. It was bad. It was really bad. Switch it off.
Just pissing out petrol.
And we was like, what's going on with it? What's going on with it? And then one of us looked it up on Google or something. Oh, it's the wrong way around.
Yeah, the float's on the bottom.
It's the wrong way
fuck
around.
Oh,
So
dear.
at least I bought a new carb for it.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, that's enough stories about near-death experiences.
We have so many.
We'll probably revisit this when we want another chill episode where we're not looking at, not necessarily script. We don't really use scripts, but we have notes and shit. This is one of the only episodes where we haven't needed notes.
No.
Other than episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I don't think we used the script for 1. We used the script for 2, definitely.
I think we had notes for 2,
Yeah, but not 1.
but they were light notes.
They were light notes. We just kind of...
Yeah.
Dipped in and out.
But so we'll probably revisit this, or I think we're looking to maybe get a guest in the double digits.
Huh?
I did mention this to you.
Then we're going to get a famous celebrity on.
No.
Yeah, we're somehow going to, like, drag a famous celebrity from...
No, I wasn't going to be celebrity. No, I said about the collectors episode, like the collectibles episode. I said about bringing in like a Pokemon store owner or something.
Oh, yeah!
That nothing's confirmed. It's just an idea. We might do it. We might not. Depends when we do the episode, honestly.
Again, dabbling in everything we physically can. That's really all we're doing.
Yeah. But for now, we have majorly overrun.
Have we?
We have.
By how much?
Like nearly 20 minutes.
Well.
And judging by episode 2, I think hour-long episodes don't work for us yet.
You know.
For now, we'll come back to this episode at some point. We're currently up in the air about episode 7 topic. We've got a list of topics we want to go through, and it's really hard to nail down what one we want to do at each time. And then we've got to decide on episode 8 as well.
Yeah.
But for now, we will leave you with those stories. And you know what? Maybe at some point we'll do a full-on motorcycle themed video, not just a podcast. But
we'll park up all our bikes in the garage that you own and
Yeah.
I'll don't mind.
Yeah, but we'll have to wait for summer for that when the garage is empty. But for now, this has been the Roundtable Podcast. I don't know why I keep calling it the Roundtable Podcast.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
the round,
Roundtable
yeah.
Podcast. For now, this was Roundtable Podcast. If you want more of us, as I said before, Trigger TV for all of our gaming content. If you want to see us do a live action in person video game content, please join us on this channel for Roundtable Gaming, where we'll be doing all forms of tabletop board games, TCGs, the full shebang, whatever we feel like playing that week. But for now, he's been Legends, he's been Born, and I've been Helix, and we will see you in the next one. Take it easy.
New.